All right, this is Benjamin again with the ecomdash support team. We're going to go ahead and get started here so that we can make sure we make full use of the time. As I kind of mentioned for some of the people who just stepped in, today we're going to look at which shopping cart's right for you. Basically, what information do you need to look for? What do some of the major ones out there provide? Pros and cons of each one, and kind of the high-level differences between a shopping cart and a marketplace. All right, so let's start of this, just kind of give you an idea of what we're going to be going over. Again, what is a shopping cart? I know some of the stuff may be obvious, but just kind of starting at the basics. We're not going to spend too much time there, but just kind of giving you an idea. Shopping carts versus marketplaces. What's the difference? What are some of the benefits of each? Then we're going to talk about how do you know which one's the right one for you. Essentially, what are the various things that you need to look for when trying to pick a shopping cart, ensuring that you pick the right one for your business. Then we're going to compare some options. We're going to take a look at 5 of the largest shopping cart software out there, see some of the pros, the cons, the differences between them, and then we'll kind of review all that and answer any questions you guys have. So starting off here with what is a shopping cart. So again, depending on how long you've been selling online, this may be obvious or information you already know, but for those of you just getting started, a shopping cart is a type of e-commerce software that helps website visitors purchase items online. Simplifies the process of selling products and lets you build the brand of your dreams. Essentially, the biggest difference in what this is it allows you to be in much more control of the place that you sell your items. Having more control of how it looks, the process a buyer is going to take from beginning to end, you get much more control over that situation. And what that allows you to do is really build a brand. So if you're somebody who is building your own products, white labeling, something where you're trying to truly build a brand, not just sell items online, the shopping cart's a really great tool because it does give you that control. You're no longer at the whim of one of these large marketplaces online, such as an Amazon or an eBay. There's tons of options of shopping carts out there, each of them offering different benefits, and many of them tailored to specific types of customers. So if you're just getting started, there's some difficulty in figuring out which one is the right one for you. And so that's what we're really going to do here today, is help you figure out, why would you need a shopping cart? If you need one, how do you locate the correct one? And then, like I said, we'll compare some different options for the major ones and kind of let you know what each one provides, which each one doesn't do better than the others, things like that. We'll kind of dig into that. So again, like I said, the kind of biggest difference here when you're getting started is shopping carts versus marketplaces. So as I had mentioned, a shopping cart gives you much more control of the buying experience over traditional online marketplaces such as Amazon and eBay. If you're selling your item on Amazon or eBay, you can't change how that page looks where your item's being sold. Sure, you can create custom HTML descriptions, you can put your own images in some cases, maybe not all the time for Amazon, but you don't have control of the process. Again, it's more of a faceless type thing. You're going to the store. The best description I can normally go with in this situation is the difference between selling your item through a major retailer, Target, Best Buy, Walmart, any of those places, versus your own shop, Main Street America, small business, selling there. So that's the real difference. In your own shop, you have much more control over the buying experience. When somebody walks in, what does it look like? How do they find the item they need? And how do they check out? Whereas if you decide to sell your items in a Target or a Walmart, in this example, you don't have much control. They put the product where they want to, and the process is pretty standard for most buyers. That helps establish a brand identity. People know if I go to this website, this is what it looks like, this is the color scheme, this is the images they have, this is the layout. Those types of things give people a feeling, and like I said, it allows you to be much more personable rather than the colder experience of buying through a marketplace. Allows you to kind of express yourself a little bit more. And that's the last point here. Really makes the buying process feel more personal. People are going to your site rather than going to a marketplace and buying those items. So if you are trying to build a brand, if you are trying to feel more in control of what it's like for people to locate you, buy your items, and come back, you get much more control. A lot of the stuff that you can do with these various things are things like customer rewards. You have more control over SEO, making sure people find your items. And so the biggest thing as to whether you're trying to figure this out is, again, do you just want to get your items, get them in front of people? Marketplace is going to be a good option. Same time, if you want to build your own brand, have that out there. A shopping cart's a good thing, and you can do both. A lot of people sell both. They get their items out there so that they get eyeballs on them, but they also have their own website that they use a shopping cart on, so that they can build their brand in the same time. So this is where things get interesting. How do I know which one's right for me? There are so many different options when it comes to shopping carts out there that sometimes it can be really difficult to figure out which one works for you. Some of them cater towards people just getting started, offering you templates, offering you easy setup. You don't have to do any coding. You can go in, pick a template, plug and play. Others offer a lot of customization, and those are really good for people who have experience with that kind of stuff, larger companies. But maybe they're not going to be the best for someone getting started out. So it's really key to ensure that you locate the right one, because most of these have a cost associated. You want to make sure you're not spending money on something that can't help you in the way you need it. And so that's the first thing we put on here in terms of how do you know which one's the right one for me. Cost is a huge option. Taking a look, how much does it cost? Is it going to be worth it for your business to expand it in this way, to build your brand? They can range all over the place, and there's a few things that can go into that cost that may be outside of the software that we'll kind of talk about here in a minute. That could be additional costs depending on which one you choose. Another one is how easy is it to learn? Like I mentioned, many of these are very different, where some offer great plug and play options. Click and drag, various templates, things that are pre-built for you. Those are going to make things easy to learn, but the trade-off is customization at that point. If things are templates, you can't go in and really design it how you want. So if you're looking for something that's like that, you need to look at the ones that have those templates. If you have more technical side, or you're a larger company and you've got a dedicated team, maybe you are looking for something that's a little more in depth. Another big one is, how does it perform technically? This is huge. This is the first impression when you get somebody who's going to come to your site. So the big thing with performance is how fast does the page load. Many of these options that we're going to go over today, and a lot of the ones that don't, host these for you, and that's kind of what we're going to go over next here as well. But they host things for you. So if they're hosting it and their service is slow, somebody goes to your URL and doesn't load up right away, that's a big turnoff in today's age. That if they're trying to go to your site, they want to buy an item, but they can't get in, it doesn't load fast enough, very quick turnoff. People will leave, go somewhere else. So that's another one to look into. These all kind of perform differently. Some of them are super quick, some are great on mobile, some are great on desktop. In performance, we also did consider things like SEO and some of those tools they have. Obviously that's a big thing as well, making sure that your URL is easy to understand, comes up high in search results and that people can find you. So as I mentioned, another one here is really big. Is it hosted or non-hosted? So a hosted shopping cart is going to give you a website where you can have your shopping cart on it. You don't have to also pay for hosting services. Essentially, you get the subscription for that shopping cart, you get the hosting services for a site, and you get the shopping cart. Others, you have to go outside of the shopping cart to get that. And so that's an important factor to consider, mainly for cost. If you can get everything covered in one subscription, awesome. But if you're looking at one of these that are non-hosted, you are now looking into hosting costs in addition to whatever costs you have with that shopping cart. And then what features does it offer? All of these various software, they offer a wide range of features. Some of them may be beneficial to you, some of them may not matter. So figuring out what you need and what they offer is really important. So what we're going to use these 5 bases to go over some of the big hitters in the shopping cart market, and use that to kind of judge, give you information on what each of these can provide to your business, what they can't provide, so that you can kind of get an idea if you're looking to move into this space, which ones are right for you. But these are key to note. Sure, we're going to talk about 5 of these shopping carts and what they can, how they rank on these various topics here. But like I mentioned, there's plenty of these options out there, and these are really the 5 big things that you want to look at to help narrow down which one's right for you. So if you are looking, make note of these things and use that moving forward. So now we're going to kind of compare some of these options. As I mentioned, each one has unique benefits and features that appeal to certain types of online businesses. Figure out which one works best for you can be daunting. There are some resources out there that you can find some information on, but we want to kind of go through this, cover the big 5, let you know what they can do and how they can help you out, and who each of them is targeted towards. So we're going to take a look at Shopify, BigCommerce, 3D Cart, Magento, and WooCommerce. These 5 are great because not only are they 5 of the most popular, but they each vary pretty widely in terms of the type of online businesses they're catering towards, and the features they offer. So this is kind of gives us a good idea of what you can expect when you're looking at the entire spectrum by only looking at these 5. So again, we start with Shopify. Shopify, hands down, one of the most popular. It's plenty of sites you go to, you'll notice a little Shopify logo down on the bottom, letting you know that they're taking advantage of Shopify shopping cart. Shopify is fully hosted, web-based, specializes in ease of use. That's one of the things that makes it extremely popular. So as we had talked about, one of the big things that you want to look into is the hosting. Shopify, when you get a subscription with them, you get a website. You don't have to go out and get a domain name. You don't have to go get hosting services outside of this. You come into Shopify and you're going to get all of those things. With Shopify, you can easily set up an online store, organize your products, customize your storefront, accept credit card payments, track orders, and more. And the biggest thing in this bullet point is easily. So they try to make things as intuitive, as easy to set up. Shopify is very focused towards really any business, but they're a great fit for people who are just getting started out, who aren't looking to spend huge amounts of time developing a website. They do have a lot of tools that you can kind of get in there and do what you need with it, but it is definitely more focused towards easy setup, to where you're not having to worry about large amounts of experience to be able to get a Shopify site up and running. Well-known users of Shopify include Tesla Motors, Budweiser, and Red Bull. So those are three large companies that are able to use Shopify as their shopping cart. So that's kind of one of the nice things here with Shopify is it can work for larger companies. But as I mentioned, the way it's set up is absolutely something that allows people just getting started out to not feel overwhelmed, to get in there, get their site set up, and start building that brand identity and reaching out to those customers. So a few big details for Shopify. Pricing right off the bat, basic Shopify, $29 a month. They do offer more advanced packages where you can start unlocking various features. There's a big range on this, $79 to almost $300. So going in there, looking at the various options provided with those packages is key. But at their basic package, if you're really just getting started out, they do offer a pretty affordable option at $29 per month. As we talked about easy use, merchants can set up a startup or mid-sized business in a day. One of the great things with Shopify is the ability to do that. And as we talked about, they do offer some customization. You can really get deep with this. But you don't have to be able to make a nice looking website, have it up and running, and have your products available to be purchased. In terms of performance, they are consistently ranked as one of the faster sites for both desktop and mobile. That is huge. Many of these different sites that we're going to look at today maybe rank really high on desktop or low on mobile, high on mobile, low on desktop. Few of them hit this target for both. Again, this is massive. If people are seeking you out, they're not just stumbling upon your products on Amazon, eBay, Walmart, any of those sites, but are actually finding your website, when they click that URL, if it doesn't load up and take them into your site, your shopping cart right away, those people are going to start looking elsewhere. So it's really crucial to be able to get that, and to be able to get that in something that also has easy setup and is pretty affordable. It is a really great option. As I mentioned, fully hosted. Shopify subscription, you get a website where buyers can find you and purchase your products. So wrapped up in that cost, you get both. You get your shopping cart, you get your site. You don't have to go outside and have another expense that you need to keep track of. It's all tracked here with Shopify. So some key features for Shopify. Again, intuitive user interface, drag and drop site editor, no coding necessary. That's what allows them to say that you can get something set up within a day. Click it, drag it over, you can get up and running. They have great SEO features that are going to allow get information in terms of where you need to be marketing your products, how you need to be marketing them, and ensuring that they're put at the top of lists, that people are finding this. They also allow you to list unlimited products. They do put some limitations on variations, but unlimited products. You can go out there. So if you've got a large business, you got a lot of products that you're selling, Shopify is a great option. Again, because they're not going to top you out. They do integrate with over 100 payment gateways. It's by far one of the highest when it comes to that in terms of options, making it super easy to not only have your customers locate you, find your product, decide to purchase it, but also get that payment through. And then they offer 24/7 phone support. Shopify is consistently ranked as one of the highest when it comes to customer service. Their gurus, as they're called, are very helpful. And like I said, kind of puts them at the top. So if you do need help getting set up, you have any questions, they're consistently ranked pretty high for that. So that's another thing that we haven't, that we don't mention as really one of the 5 main things that you should look for, but they are important, is support. With any technical service, if you have questions, you need to be able to reach out to these people and get help right away, so that you don't put anything in between yourself and the people trying to buy your products. Last thing for Shopify we're going to go through here are just some cons of Shopify. So we've talked about some of the great things about it. There are a few cons. Limited functionality, because they try to keep it easy to use. there are some missing elements, limited variations, and lack of wholesale selling options. That's kind of the balance that you're going to find with a lot of these options. The easier they are to set up, in most cases, the fewer options that are available for you to really customize and get in there and build the site how you want to build it. So if that's what you are looking for, maybe Shopify is not going to be the best option. But if you are just getting started, want a place to get up and running right away, Shopify, may be it. Add-ons, as a way to get around some of those features they're missing, Shopify does have various add-ons that you can purchase. So while they do have the add-on that you can go in there, you are now looking at additional costs. So if if your business is something that's going to be looking at a lot of add-ons for Shopify, it may not be the best option, because at that point you're really starting to raise your price point, where you may be able to find another solution that offers it. But if you like the way Shopify's set up, they do have those add-ons. Again, it's just kind of finding that balance. Again, with their support, if you can get in touch with them, people say they're always going to be able to help you out. The problem is Shopify is a growing company that's helping a lot of people sell online, and oftentimes you may be on hold for 30 minutes to an hour to speak to a representative. So it's one of those kind of up in the air type things. If you get in touch, they're gonna be able to help you out, but sometimes you may sit on hold. So if customer support is something that's really big, be able to pick up the phone, get in touch right away, maybe something you want to keep in mind. The next big one here is BigCommerce, fully hosted, web-based. Again, very user-friendly e-commerce platform, powers more than 90,000 online stores. Platform has all the tools and functionality needed to set up your online store, process your orders, and maintain a branded look and feel. Again, similar to Shopify in those types of things. Pretty easy to get set up, get up and running, process your orders. Well-known users that are using BigCommerce: Camelback, Toyota, Ben & Jerry's. Most of those are pretty recognizable, and it makes sense. BigCommerce is up there with Shopify in terms of popularity, and for some of the features that we're going to go over here. So some details for BigCommerce, again, coming in super similar here for the basic as Shopify, $29.95 a month. They do have, again, almost dead on the same dollar range here for BigCommerce when it comes to pricing, that you can go from about $79 to up to $250 for some of those more advanced packages. As I talked about, BigCommerce is up there with Shopify in terms of usability. A lot of people out there using it, finding it easy to get set up and up and running. When it comes to performance, BigCommerce, it's essentially at the top. If it's not the fastest in one thing, it may be the second fastest. But I would say overall, when it comes to speed, user experience, SEO options, that really boosts the performance here for BigCommerce. Again, it's crucial that if somebody finds you, you want to make sure very quickly they locate your item, put it in their shopping cart, and check out, and don't want to have to wait for any load times that could potentially push them away from the site. Just as with Shopify, BigCommerce is fully hosted. So you sign up for BigCommerce, you get a website where they can find you and your products. Again, keeping everything in one expense rather than having many different expenses. Some key features: intuitive user interface with drag and drop site editor. You can pop in there, get a website set up and start selling your items pretty quickly. They do offer a one-page checkout option, making it even easier. So again, more people will complete the process. That's the goal. Get the people in, check out, complete the purchase. And with this option, it really improves that process for the user and ultimately for you. Easy to use platform. It finds the balance of making it both functional and attractive. that sometimes you can find things that have some templates that are easy to use, but they're ugly. And if it was easy to use and set up, but it doesn't look great, people are less likely to spend more time on the site, and therefore less likely to check out and purchase those items. This is a big difference between the two. So far we've seen a lot of similarities, right, between BigCommerce and Shopify. First difference we're seeing here, that's the really big difference, is they don't charge any transaction fees, unlike Shopify. So cut back on some of those expenses. So while the pricing is pretty similar, obviously this type of thing is going to help you out in avoiding some of the smaller expenses that certainly do add up over time. Some of the cons with BigCommerce, great, and again, this is some of the balance we've talked about. Great for smaller businesses, but it doesn't offer features that larger businesses may need. And again, that's due to their focus of trying to make it easy to set up, get your products up and running, rather than building in huge amounts of customization that some of these larger companies may need to make the site fit their business needs. Inconsistent customer support. Many BigCommerce support reviews are positive, but some customer support that customers report that they could not resolve their issues. So if that's a big thing there for you, kind of want to keep that in mind. Overall, BigCommerce is a great option that a lot of people are selling on currently. Very similar to Shopify in terms of, if you're somebody who's just getting started, a small business, and you're trying to get up off the ground and you want to start building an identity for your business, and have a place to sell your items outside of the major marketplaces, BigCommerce is another good option to look into. Next we have 3D Cart. Also fully hosted web-based platform that was starting to move into small and large businesses with a wide range of features and pricing options. 3D Cart is great for merchants who need an affordable selling solution, but are looking for a little bit more, more features than BigCommerce or Shopify may be able to provide. While they do offer over 100 themes, with 3D Cart it is best that you know basics of HTML and CSS to design an online store. So this is where you start getting into, you do have some themes, but you are going to need to have a little bit of experience with that type of thing. So if you're a smaller company and you don't have, and you yourself don't know HTML or CSS, and you don't have a coworker or a partner who knows how to do this, maybe this isn't going to be the best option. Users of 3D Cart include Hunter's Friend, Frantic Stamper, and Pete's Tire Barns. Again, this is where you're kind of get into smaller to medium to larger size business who have the expense, the capability to have someone spend a little bit more time on developing the site and really making it look how you truly want it to. So pricing, again, we're starting out at $29 per month. Advanced packages will take you from $79 up to $229. 3D Cart's platform is relatively intuitive. If you're familiar with HTML and CSS. If you're not an expert and need help, they do offer some options that would be able to help you get set up. So that definitely is best. Like I said, there are some options that can kind of get you up and running if you need to. 3D Cart ranks highly when it comes to loading speed, but does fall into the middle of the pack in terms of user experience and SEO, just for various design and different tools they offer for SEO. But again, loading speed is huge, ensuring that if people find you, they're able to check out quickly. 3D Cart is fully hosted. Again, you don't have to worry about locating hosting elsewhere and spreading out your expenses. Some key features: 3D Cart offers uncommon features in their low tier pricing plans, and I think this is some of the things that pushes them past just small businesses, really getting into some of the larger ones, where they can facilitate customer rewards programs and allow you to really customize the checkout page options. Obviously, customer rewards programs are great, and the fact that 3D Cart offers this without you having to really shell out some money, it can be awesome when you get those customer rewards programs that are going to help you keep bringing those same customers back. That's always a great option to be able to take advantage of. They integrate with over 200 payment gateways, so there's plenty of options that you would be able to use, take advantage of to get your buyers' payments processed, and they don't have any transaction fees. So kind of help you out there in terms of your expenses. The last thing here, and then we'll kind of wrap up here for 3D Cart, is one of the problems is, as I mentioned, they do have some templates. Even with those templates, you do need to have a little bit of HTML or CSS experience. They only offer 60 of those 100 plus themes for free. You can pay for premium themes. However, most of these are not going to look as good right off the bat, such as the ones that you would find with Shopify and BigCommerce. So, for depending on what you're looking for, that may be a big negative for you. If you are looking for something that's pretty easy to set up, not looking to shell out a whole bunch for the look and feel, this could be something that really hinders you when it comes to 3D Cart, since they do offer some additional pre-built themes, but you start getting to having to pay some more money to be able to take advantage of them. Inconsistent customer support. Majority of 3D Cart customer service reviews are negative. The big benefit is they do offer live chat, email, and 24/7 phone support, but they're normally known for not getting back super quickly or vague responses. But if you are looking for something where you can dial a number, you can pop in a live chat, just to at least get in touch with someone, that is an option. Just keep in mind what some of the reviews say. Obviously, and one thing to mention on some of these when we're talking about customer support and stuff like that is you are getting into people's individual experiences on a whole. This is kind of what we have found, but you may have a totally different experience and have a great experience with their support. So overall, 3D Cart's kind of bridging the gap into the more customizable, which is where we're going to start kind of flowing into here. Is we're going to start getting into more of the options for larger businesses, more development options, but this is kind of the middleman. It still has some of the easier setup with some more options. But overall, it's a good option for small, medium, or large businesses due to each of those things. Next up is Magento. Magento is an open source e-commerce platform with a huge feature set and complete customizability. For that reason, this shopping cart is an excellent choice for experienced online sellers with knowledge and resources available to best implement the advanced technology. So part of that comes with this heavy customizable layout and the expansive feature set is you are going to need time and resources to be able to take advantage of those things, to be able to develop it as you need it. And this kind of shows with some of these options. Well-known users of Magento include Coca-Cola, Ford, and Warby Parker. Those are three very large companies that can obviously afford the time and the expertise needed to be able to take advantage of the feature set that Magento makes available. So pricing for Magento. So it's the pricing thing is very interesting here with Magento. So Magento open source, used to be called Community Edition, is free to download and use. However, you must pay for your own web hosting, domain names, add-ons, SSL certificate, and payment processing. Each of those are going to cost you money. So while you save money with going with their open source option, you are going to start having to look into these various other options to be able to have a fully functioning online business. And those things are going to come with costs associated with them. Easy use. Because Magento can pose a serious challenge to merchants with little to no tech experience, this shopping cart is not for beginners. In fact, Magento does not recommend their software to smaller businesses and newer merchants for the reasons discussed. Anytime you have something that's super in-depth, very powerful, highly customizable, it's it's not going to be something you're going to be able to set up in a day, and if you're just getting started, this will not be for you. But if you have gotten to a point where you're looking for deeper customization, really take ownership of the site, Magento will be a great option due to how powerful it can be and the options provided to you. Magento can often run slowly, which makes admin management and SEO optimization difficult. We weren't seeing awful things in terms of this, but just kind of want to mention that it is running slower than the three options we've previously been looking at. Hosting, again, hosting's not included in the free open source package. However, Magento does offer a fully hosted platform, similar to what we've discussed previously, called Magento Commerce Starter. You go that route, though, you're starting at $2,000 per month for small businesses. So, unlike Shopify, BigCommerce, and 3D Cart, which were all hosted options, all beginning at about $30 per month, going up to a little bit over $200. If you're going with Magento and you're going to use their hosting services, it's a pretty big jump in price compared to what we've been looking at previously. Some of their key features, though: unrestricted customization. So again, if you're truly trying to build your brand identity the way you want to build it, and you've got the time to be able to do it, and you've got the experience to be able to accomplish that vision, Magento is going to be a great option for you because of that unrestricted customization. Another huge thing is multi-site capabilities to manage various sites from one admin. So with Magento, you could have website A and website B, where you sell two different storefronts where you sell your items that are all run through a single Magento admin. Log in, you can see both of them, manage them within one admin site. Something that we've not discussed this far with the other previous three options. Another huge thing that people like is persistent shopping cart capability. Somebody comes to your site, goes to buy an item, they leave it in the shopping cart, they don't check out, and they come back a week later. Magento offers the ability to have that item still in their cart, so they can pop in, see, oh, I left this in here, I need to finish checking out, complete the process. They also offer advanced pricing rules, have some more control over what you're selling your items for, and the one-page checkout option available. Again, just making it easier to people to complete the buying process. Some of the cons, and this is just kind of elaborating on some of the stuff we've mentioned here with Magento, and I find it very interesting with them that it is most of their features provide some really great options, but at the same time, they're also the things causing some of these cons. So because Magento can pose a serious challenge to merchants with little no tech experience, as we mentioned, they do not recommend it for people getting started out. So it's like a double-edged, sword there, where you get the options to be able to really build it as you want to, but by doing so, it just makes it a little bit more difficult to get set up. Again, Magento can often run slowly, which does make admin and SEO optimization difficult. The free platform can be costly. So as we talked about, Magento open source is free. You don't get the hosting. They do have but when you start adding that in, you're going to increase your price, put it past what we were really looking at with the first three options. And again, they do offer their own hosting option, but for small businesses, you're looking at $2,000 per month. No customer support. So since Magento is open source, they don't really have a customer service presence. You really are on your own. They put all the tools out there. It's on you to really make it happen. Take advantage of the tools provided to you and make what you need. The good thing about that is there's a lot of people who use Magento. They do have community boards where you can go there, look up information, ask questions, and get help. So again, that's one of the negatives for people who are just getting started out. You don't want to look at for something that's complicated that you can't get any help on. But if you know what you're doing, that may be something that you don't really need. The last one we're going to look at here is WooCommerce. So similar to Magento, WooCommerce is an open source shopping cart plugin that works exclusively with WordPress websites. Because the platform offers features most merchants need at a low price, and it integrates into a platform that most online sellers are already using, again, WordPress, WooCommerce's software is used by 42% of all e-commerce sites. Like I said, when people are just getting started out, WordPress is one of those first places you create your website on. And since WooCommerce is built to plug into it, that's just naturally the first place people go. Users for WooCommerce include Ripley's Believe It or Not, Singer, and Ghostbed. So WooCommerce is free to download, but it is not free of expenses, similar to Magento again. It doesn't charge transaction fees or regulate storage, but you must purchase hosting for your WordPress site, along with various add-ons and extensions. There are plenty of them that are out there that you can take advantage of them. Many of them do have costs that are going to be associated with them. Easy use. WooCommerce can be difficult to use, especially if you don't have any experience with WordPress or coding. In terms of basic setup, it is pretty easy to use. In terms of troubleshooting or really getting deep into it, things may get a little bit more difficult and less easy to use. Woo's has solid usability on mobile devices and SEO options. Keep it in the middle of the pack when it comes to performance, but it does experience some slowness, which does pull it down just a little bit. But again, consistently has found usability on mobile devices is great, and those SEO options kind of boost it back up from being totally at the bottom when it comes to performance. So some of those things are really good. As I mentioned, as part of the pricing, hosting is Woo's not fully hosted. Requires that you purchase your hosting through WordPress site. So the balance here isn't awful, right? If the shopping cart is free to download, okay, but you do need to have it through your WordPress site. So depending on what type of package you go with on your WordPress site, that's really kind of the cost you're looking at here to be able to take advantage of WooCommerce. Some of their key features, again, unrestricted customization. You can do a whole lot with WooCommerce. You can really get in there, take advantage of the various add-ons, features to turn this shopping cart into something that you need it to be, you want it to be. Because of the partnership there with WordPress, you kind of get the benefit of a blogging platform as well. If that's the way you're wanting to build your business as a blog where people can also buy those items, this is a good option. They don't put any limits, like we had mentioned, on storage, unlimited products, variations. So if you do have a large catalog of items that you're wanting to put online, this may be a good option for you. Woo themes, they offer 14 clean, attractive, image-focused themes that really easy to use. You plug them in, the website's going to look good. With only 14, may look similar to other sites out there, but they will be clean, look good, and lots of images on there. Kind of draw people in. Some of the cons, again, anytime you've got heavy customization, makes WooCommerce can be difficult to use. if you don't have any experience with WordPress or coding. WooCommerce is free, but extensions may be required, and WordPress is not. So WooCommerce free, but various extensions you have to add, and you need your hosting and domain through WordPress. You're going to start seeing some costs there. Some extensions are just a one-time payment, others are a monthly subscription. So what that is, and really kind of the best way to figure this out, is if you're interested in Woo, get started, since it is free to get into. If you've already got a WordPress site, add it on, take a look at some of those extensions, figure out which ones you may need, and be sure to look at what the price is. Is it a one-time fee? Is it a monthly fee? That you can really start looking into what your total cost would actually be to use WooCommerce in the way your business needs it to. While you can use any WordPress theme, you probably shouldn't. In terms of how they're going to look and draw people in, you can really start going down a deep hole looking for some of that stuff, but most of the time Woo themes, they work best and they look best on WooCommerce. Obviously these top 5 are 5 of the most popular, but there are many more options out there that may be a better solution for your needs. Part of what we wanted to do today is go over those 5 major options, but also kind of use that to demonstrate what you should be looking for, what each of these can provide, some of the big differences between them, and again, I highly recommend making note of this. If you are looking for a shopping cart, big things you want to look for is your price, the ease of use, performance, hosting options, and key features. Each one of those may be more or less important to you depending on what you're looking for. Just to kind of go over and review some of the ones that we had talked about, if you are looking for ease of use, looking for things that are talking about quick setup, plug and play, drag and drop, your Shopify, your BigCommerce, your 3D cart to an extent. So if you're just getting started and you just want to get a site where people can start purchasing your items, that's the route you want to go. If you are a larger company, or you've got the time and resources to be able to devote time to developing a site the way you want it, the way you want it to be, you may want to look at something similar to a Magento or a WooCommerce. But these 5 things are important to look at. One of the other things to keep in mind is scalability, in terms of, as your business grows, are you going to be able to grow, is your shopping cart going to be able to grow with you so you're not changing all the time? Most of these are going to be able to do that. Part of that storage that you kind of want to look at, if you're going to be growing, you're going to be adding more products. That's one thing you want to keep in mind. So just kind of as a little add-on on top of the 5 main features we discussed here. So just to kind of go back through what we talked about, a shopping cart is really a great tool for people selling online who want to have much more control over the buying experience that consumers have when purchasing your items. If you want to build your brand identity outside of just an item sitting on a virtual shelf instead of a virtual supermarket such as Amazon, eBay, Walmart, this is the way to do so. And so if you are looking to expand that way, this is a great way. And then keep each of these various things intact. One of the big ones we talked about, hosting, knowing that if you go with certain options that are hosted, you don't have to worry about finding that solution elsewhere. You're able to get it all in one swing here. Ecomdash is, we work with the 5 we have discussed in terms of shopping carts. We are also integrated with ZenCart. So if you're already using ecomdash, the 5 we went over, and you're interested in them, we are fully integrated to be able to manage your inventory there, manage your listings, manage your orders, and then each year we're always looking to add new integrations and maybe adding more. But those 5 are absolutely integrated with us and great tools. All right, so I really appreciate you guys attending our webinar here today on shopping carts, figuring out which ones are right for you. Next webinar we got going on, how and why to sell with Google Shopping Actions. We've got that coming up on November 15th at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, so definitely check that out. You can register for that at ecomdash.com. Click the link for webinars, just like you did today. Again, if you are an ecomdash subscriber and you have any questions, need help integrating one of these shopping carts, looking to expand and have more questions, definitely reach out. You can email us, support@ecomdash.com. Again, if you're a subscriber, pop into live chat by clicking the green support button in the bottom right hand corner. Schedule a call by clicking the question mark up in the top right hand corner. We're happy to help you get these shopping carts integrated with ecomdash, give you more information on how to list there, how to process these orders, anything you really need to on ecomdash's side. But again, if you're not a subscriber, take advantage of our free trial. Go to ecomdash.com. Up in the top right, there's an orange button where you can start a free trial. Or if you have some questions you want to get answered before then, support@ecomdash.com. We do also offer a daily demo there where basically we'll do a 30-minute overview of the software. So if you do want to see that before popping into trial, before subscribing, again, if you go to ecomdash.com, scroll to the very bottom of the page, there's a link for demos. You can sign up for that, and like I said, that's just another option to be able to get to see the software in action before signing up. So again, thanks for joining me. Again, my name is Benjamin with the ecomdash support team. It was an absolute pleasure, and I look forward to speaking with you guys if you have any questions, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks again.